Building your billionaire blueprint. Hello, my name is Ruth Aguiloso. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. If you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and share it with a friend. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for your support. Please go ahead and like, share, do all those wonderful things, and hit the notification bell. That way you know whenever I upload a new video. On this channel, I discuss all things money mindset, making money, saving money, investing money, and more. So you're gonna wanna come back to hear what I have in store for you. If you wanna hear more about me and what I do, stay with me to the end of the video and I will share that information with you. Today, we're going to talk about building your billionaire blueprint, okay? So and it doesn't have to be billionaire, it could be millionaire or however you want to achieve your financial success, but making sure that you have a financial blueprint. So let's get into today's video. So here you are on the other side of your divorce. You've gone through all of the court proceedings, if you had to go to court or mediation, but there were a lot of discussions about finances, because let's face it, finances is a huge part of marriage and it's also a huge part of the divorce process. Now that you're done with the divorce, it's important for you to rebuild and craft the life that you want to have. In order for you to do that, you have to have a financial blueprint. We cannot get around the fact that finances has a lot to do with our lives. So if we're not being intentional with our finances, we will not be able to achieve the things that we want to achieve in life and live a life of abundance. This is the way that you're going to be able to have a financially stable life and an abundant life, by having a financial blueprint. The first part of having a financial blueprint is to assess your situation. Now, again, after going through a divorce process, you probably don't even want to think about finances. That was probably overly discussed in your situation, and you're probably disgusted as a result of it, but that's okay. You're over that. Now you get to rebuild, but you have to pull out that stuff again. Yep. You have to face it again. You want to be sure that you know what your assets are, your debts, your income, expenses, and more. You want to make sure that you know those numbers. And not that you just take out the information and you just look at it, but you want to look at it objectively. You want to make sure that you're really paying attention to those numbers and understanding where you stand financially. Now, if you struggle with knowing where everything is and keeping them together, I highly suggest that you have a file folder or some digital way that you're going to keep track of these things. And you can even have both, making sure that you know where everything is. You know, anything can happen and you need to pull these out. So you need to make sure that you have it. And even if nothing happens, what if you want to do something? You've got to make sure that you know where these things are. So keeping organized is essential. Okay. And in this case, while constructing your financial blueprint, you're going to want to have all of this information handy. The next thing you're going to want to do is set clear financial goals. Clear financial goals. So you want to make sure that you're setting goals that line up with your new lifestyle and how you want to live your life. It's all about you now. So you want to make sure that you put things in place that are going to fit where you are and where you want to go in your life. You want to have short-term goals and long-term goals. So an example of a short-term goal is maybe you want to be able to put your child into private lessons again, or maybe you yourself want to take some type of private lesson or class, or anything that can be achieved in a shorter span of time. A long-term goal maybe you want to move into a nicer home or a nicer neighborhood. And so there's some planning and structuring of your finances that you need in order to get there. But whatever your goals are, you want to make sure that you're very clear on what you want to achieve. And you want to make sure that they're realistic and achievable. You don't want to set lofty goals or goals that, don't really make sense for your situation. But you want to make sure that you're setting goals that are in line with how you want to live your life, your values, everything like that. Have your short-term goals and your long-term goals and make sure that they're clear. Do you already have some short-term and long-term goals? Put them in the comment section. I'd love to hear about what your goals are now that you're in this season of life. Next, you want to focus on your budgeting and managing your cash flow. It's very important to have a budget that aligns with your new way of life. Yes, you may be thinking about things the way they used to be, things that you used to be able to afford. Maybe right now your income has decreased, or maybe it has increased. Maybe you've gotten more money as a result of the divorce. Whatever your situation is, you want to make sure that your budget lines up with your new lifestyle. Okay? Now that you are divorced, there's some things that you want to take into consideration. So for instance, if now you have to drive more to shuttle the kids around, make sure that you're considering those additional costs with gas, or if you have a driver that drives your children around, making sure that you are considering those things when you put together your budget, making sure that, okay, if you have to now pay for childcare, that is a consideration that's put into your budget. Whatever it is that has changed, make sure that it's in your budget so that you're accounting for it on a monthly basis. In addition to budgeting, you want to make sure that you're managing your cash flow well. So how much money are you bringing in? Do you have a job and a side business, or are you just having a business? Whatever the situation is, what kind of money are you bringing in? How are you bringing in this money? And making sure that you are doing the things that you need to do to maintain your lifestyle, to maintain that cash flow so that you can maintain your lifestyle. So if you are kind of in a situation where things have kind of shifted in terms of how you're able to run your business, see what you can do to get back on track so that you can really make sure that you have that cash flow. And tracking the money that you bring in is going to be vital. Making sure that you know how much you're bringing in. And yes, I know as a business owner, you can't always tell. It fluctuates. I totally get it. I'm a business owner, but you should have some sort of idea based on overall a few months at a time, how much you're making, and make sure that you're keeping track of your income. And of course, it's not just your income, it's other ways that you make money, or it could be interest payments, whatever you want to call it. But the point is you're managing it well because you are able to keep track of it and you're being able to maintain those income sources that are coming in. So make sure that you're managing that well. Next, focusing on rebuilding your credit or even managing your debt. A lot of times when people go through a divorce, either their credit gets messed up either before they even divorce or during the divorce process. So you want to make sure that you know where you stand with your credit. And I have videos on that, how to pull your credit score, get your credit report, and make sure you know where you stand with your credit. This is a perfect time for you to reach out to creditors and make payment arrangements and figure out how you're going to pay down the debt that you have so that you are not stressed out about your situation, knowing that you owe so much money here, there, and everywhere. So you want to make sure that you get that under wraps. You're taking care of that. And you can manage your debt by having a budget and making sure that you don't go over budget, making sure that you have a plan in place for how you're going to pay off things and other things like that. So make sure that you have a plan. So having this blueprint, which includes how you're going to spend your money in the various areas, will help you stay on track with managing your debt. Also, it's important to manage your debt well because it gives you that sense of stability and security, okay? In order to achieve financial freedom, you have to be able to manage your debt well. It doesn't mean that you're going to be totally debt-free, and some people, it may be your goal to be totally debt-free. That's not the case for everyone. So if that's not the case for you, that's totally fine, but you want to make sure that your debt is at a level where you know how you're going to pay it off, and it doesn't become overwhelming. It doesn't become like you're in shackles, but you want to have that freedom. Hey, if I want to, I can just pay that off, or if I don't want to, I can let it sit for a little bit, take advantage of it. Whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that you are in charge. It is your life, it's your finances, and you are in the driver's seat. So take that steering wheel and decide where you want to go. Lastly, investments and savings. Now, you're going to want to look over your investment accounts and make sure that you're investing in a way that lines up with your new lifestyle. Before, you may have been investing in certain things based on where you wanted to go with your spouse or other situations in your life, and now you're divorced. Maybe you've had to divide up some of those investments, or you've had to offload them completely. Whatever you have to do, take a second look, take another look at your investments and see whether you're investing in a way that makes sense for your lifestyle now. You know, maybe you need to invest more. Maybe you need to change the way you're investing. Maybe doing more dollar cost averaging. Maybe, you know, putting more lump sum. You know, there may be different things that you need to do. And I highly recommend you speak to an investment advisor to look at your situation and see what sort of changes you need to make. And also make sure that you're saving. Make sure that you have money set aside to do different things that you want to do. And so you're not just doing things on the fly. When you take another look into your investments and you re-strategize your investments and you're also saving, that's what's going to give you that financial stability that you're looking for. And you'll be able to embrace that life of abundance because you're setting up things the way you want them to be set up to give you that financial freedom and that life of abundance. And it's going to be all directed towards what you want and need and going back to those goals that you've set for yourself. Okay? So while you're doing all of that, make sure that you're building your emergency fund. Having an emergency fund is so vital to your financial stability. Making sure that when the what ifs happen, you know, that you are covered. Making sure that you do not have to feel so stressed whenever there's an emergency. And an emergency could look like a furnace issue or a roof issue or, oh my gosh, there's so many different issues, right? Even a health issue. You want to make sure that you have money in place to cover it, even part of the cost of whatever the emergency is. And I'm going to link a video after this that shows, you know, how to go about starting an emergency fund. So if you don't already have one, definitely check out that video. So to recap, you have to have a financial blueprint. I call it the Billionaire financial blueprint. But you want to make sure that whatever you want to accomplish with your money, that you have a clear path, you have a plan in place to accomplish those things. You want to make sure that you assess your financial situation right now. You want to set clear financial goals. You want to make sure that you're budgeting in a way that aligns with your new lifestyle and managing your cash flow well. You also want to make sure that you're putting some energy into rebuilding your credit and managing your debt, and taking another look at your investments to see what you may need to change, and making sure that you are saving some money and having an emergency fund in place to give you that extra padding, that security that you need. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Please leave a comment below of any of these that you are working on, or if this was helpful to you in some way. And if you need help implementing any of these, please definitely reach out to me. That's what I do. I help you go from confused and feeling insecure about your money and your financial situation and being stressed to being competent and confident about your finances and feeling like you can do anything, embracing a life of abundance. See my information in the description box, and let's set up a free call to assess your situation and see whether or not we'd be a good fit to work together. And remember, change your mind, change your pocketbook. Thanks for the likes and the shares. See you in the next video.